Let's start in. In this session, we are going to discuss Amazon S3. So Amazon S3 is a store, retrieve any amount of data from anywhere. So it means Amazon S3 is a storage service. Amazon S3 is a storage service. Yeah. Let's understand what are we are going to cover as part of Amazon S3. First, we are going to understand Amazon S3 introduction, like what is Amazon S3, features of Amazon S3, why Amazon S3, advantages of Amazon S3, and we are going to discuss what are prerequisites for Amazon S3. Then once we understand Amazon S3 introduction, we are going to start discussing creating bucket. What is bucket? How to create a bucket? Inside a bucket, we can create folders, we can upload files. How to create folder? How to upload files? How to upload folder from your local file system to S3 bucket? How to delete a file? How to delete a folder? How to delete a bucket? So complete a practical we are going to see. Once we understand this process of bucket, folder, file, then we are going to understand very important topic Amazon S3 storage classes. There are multiple storage classes in AWS S3 for reducing cost. What is the default storage class? Why we use that default storage class? If you want to reduce storage cost, what are different classes are available? What is the purpose of each storage class? How can we select different storage classes for my file or my bucket or my folder? How we can select? So with the practical examples, we are going to see storage classes. Next one, very important one, AWS S3 versioning. Let's say this is my bucket, bucket B1. In this B1, I created folder F1. In this folder F1, I uploaded file called sales, sales dot CSV. Let's say today I uploaded, tomorrow also I uploaded, day after tomorrow also I uploaded, same location, same file. If I upload any file, what happens? It will override old file with new file. It will override with new file. Let's say first day one file, let's say we have 1 GB. Day two file we have 10 GB. Day three file we have 15 GB. Day four file we have only 10 MB. Unexpectedly or unknowingly, someone uploaded just MBs of file into this S3 bucket. What happened? This smaller file override your bigger file, then we lose the data. But my company is asking, uh, they want a bigger file that is 15 GB data file. Assume we removed from local file system also. After uploading, we removed all files from local file system because AWS S3 providing 100% reliability. So no need of maintaining local file system. That's why those people deleted. But they want that larger file. How? How can we resolve? So to resolve such kind of problems, we can enable versioning. We can enable versioning. So if you upload every time, it will maintain different versions, version 1, version 2, version 3. Let's say my company wants to previous version data, that is 15 GB data. Then you can go versioning location, you can select a particular version, you can download, you can re-upload. You can re-upload. Then we cannot lose old data. So versioning allows us to maintain different versions of your data. If required, whatever the version you want, you can recover. That is the main advantage of versioning. So we are going to discuss what is versioning, how to enable versioning, how to download particular version, how to re-upload. We are going to see with the practical examples. And then we are going to discuss AWS S3 life cycle management. What is the life cycle management? How to set life cycle management? With practical example, we are going to see. Once we complete this one, we are going to see encryption and security in AWS S3. By default, by default, S3 side, we have a server side encryption. So AWS S3 provides different algorithms to encrypt your data. How we can select an encryption for AWS S3? What is server-side encryption? What are different encryption algorithms are available? How to encrypt data into S3? We are going to see with a practical example. Once we complete this one, we are going to see AWS S3 integration with Python. We use Boto3 API. We, we are going to integrate AWS S3 with Python. And then we are going to discuss different uh, different AWS S3 examples too. So these are the concepts we are going to cover as part of Amazon S3. Yeah, let's continue it. As part of Amazon S3, let's understand what is AWS S3 and what are key features of AWS S3. AWS S3, AWS S3 is a first service in AWS. They invented AWS S3 is a first service in AWS Cloud. AWS Cloud. AWS S3 is a storage service. AWS S3 is a storage service. Storage service. And full form of S3. Simple storage service. Yes, yes, yes. Repeated 3 times. That's why they are calling S3. Simple storage service. Yes, yes, and yes. S3. S3 full form is simple storage service. It is a storage service in AWS S3. It is a storage service in AWS S3. It allows to store any amount of data. There is no limitation for AWS S3. It supports multiple types of data. It supports multiple types of data. It is not a particular type of data. You can store images, you can store videos, you can store documents, you can store logs, you can store Backup data, you can store CSV, JSON, XML, Parquet, Avro. You can store any type of data into AWS S3 and any size of data. There is no limit to store data into S3. What are main features of S3 is highly secure. Highly secure. First one, we can achieve security using first important service in AWS is IAM. IAM full form is identity and access management. Let's say we created a user. If user want to access this S3, if you created user in AWS, then if that user want access, he need a IAM permission. Without IAM permission, user cannot access. Second one, we can encrypt the data, we can store the data. We have server-side encryption. You can implement your own uh, client-side encryption to provide security for your data. And next one thing, it is highly fault tolerant. Highly fault tolerant. You never lose data until unless you override. If you override also, you can maintain multiple versions of copies so that you never lose data. It is highly fault tolerant. At any time, you can access S3 data and and it supports unlimited storage. It supports unlimited storage with pay as you go basis. S3 S3 comes with comes with free tier, free tier. Under free tier, let's say there is a limitation for free tier. Let's say 5 GB. So this 5 GB free forever. You no need to pay. If you want to store more than 5 GB, that is unlimited data, you can go with the pay as you go basis pricing model. Pay as you go basis means my expectation is 1 TB data, but no need to pay immediately 1 TB data. How much storage you have today? Today I have 15 GB. Then you can pay only for 15 GB. No need to reserve 1 TB space. 1 TB space, it is highly scalable. Today you have 1 GB, you can pay only for 1 GB. Tomorrow you have 10 GB, you can pay for 10 GB. After a month you have 50 GB. Whenever you store 50 GB, then for that amount only you can pay. It will scale automatically. You can store any size of data. Your S3 storage scales automatically. You no need to reserve space at the beginning. You can store the data, it will scale automatically. It is highly durable, highly fault tolerant, highly available. 24 by 7, you can access data from anywhere. It supports different formats. It supports encryption, versioning, lifecycle policies, and it provides access controls. You can give read only, write only, delete permissions. You have multiple policies to access this S3 data. Based on the user level, you can restrict access control on S3 data. Okay? Yeah, yeah. Let's continue, team. Let's continue Amazon S3. Let's understand. Why Amazon S3 or why AWS S3? What is the main features available in S3? Why people are choosing S3 for their storage? First important point is scalability. Scalability. Let's say this is my S3 service, S3 service in AWS. So I'm working for X client, X client. Let's say here X client having e-commerce app. That e-commerce related complete data, they are storing it into S3 location. They created a bucket. They created a folder. In this folder, they are writing into sales data. Their complete sales data into this location in Parquet format. Let's say Parquet format. So daily they are storing that data into this location. Let's say today they have 1 GB and daily data growing, not like anything. After month, let's say it contain around 20 GB data, 20 GB data, and after 6 months it has around 1 TB data. Like this, it is growing. It is growing. Data is growing, not like anything for this X client. So this is not a fixed size. Based on your storage, based on your storage, this one scales automatically. It supports unlimited storage. Unlimited storage. It will scale automatically. Next point to thing. And it is highly durable and highly available. 99.9999% it is durable and highly available. And AWS S3, AWS S3 is not for particular region. It is a global. It is a global in AWS. AWS we have multiple regions, right? So AWS S3 is a common for all regions. It's a global. Next point to tip. Data is stored across multiple availability zones. Across multiple availability zones. Let's say mine is banking or my project is finance related. I need more availability. If assume if uh, my if I choose default one availability zones, assume if I choose only availability zone, what happen? If that entire availability zone is not available, we may face. So we can span our data multiple availability zones. You can configure multi availability zones. So your data replicates into multiple availability zones. Next one, security and access control team. Security and access control. So in AWS for X client project, we have 10 developers, 10 developers and two testers, two testers, one administrator. one administrator. So based on these developers, testers, and administrators, based on their role, we want to give access on X client S3 buckets. So here security and access purpose, AWS, I am having different policies for S3. You can assign corresponding policies to developers, testers, and administrators. Based on that, they can access. Let's say developers, we want to give read and write permission. Testers, we want to give only read permission. Administrators, we want to give read, write, delete permission. So depends upon their role, we can customize policies. We can assign corresponding policies to particular users so that we can provide security and access controls on the data. Along with this one, we have a data encryption algorithms. So we can encrypt and store the data. For that, AWS S3 providing different encryption algorithms. Different encryption algorithms. And next important one is cost effective. Cost effective. Let's say today I stored 1 GB data. You can pay only for 1 GB data. My data after a month it grows to 20 GB. Then you can pay from that day onwards, you can pay for 20 GB data. After 6 months, my data is grown to 1 TB. After 6 months onwards, you can start paying for 1 TB data storage cost. So it is pay as you go basis model. Second one, let's say uh, 10 years data, 10 years data. In that, I want only current 1 year data. 9 years data, I do not want more. I am not using frequently. 9 years data, I am using, but not frequently. These 9 years data, instead of paying standard cost, we can reduce cost using different storage classes. You can select a different storage class for these 9 years data so that you can reduce your cost of your S3 storage data. Yeah. Next important one, performance team. Performance and fast access. So here, if you are using regular and if you are using data continuously, then we have a storage class called standard storage class. So store your S3 data in standard storage class, then you can retrieve data in high speed. Let's say I'm using some data very rarely. Then you can go with glacier kind of storage. Read writes are little slower. If data is less requirement, move such kind of data to uh, different storage classes. For normal or regular purpose, you can select a standard storage class. It is super fast. You can read write your data with high speed. Next one thing. Next very important one. AWS, sorry, AWS S3, you can integrate with any other AWS services. Let's say Let's say uh, this is my AWS cloud, and this is one service S3, S3, and we have 200 plus services, 200 plus services. Any service can can be used to integrate with S3 for storing the data, retrieving the data. You can use any service, but only one thing, if you want to access here, you need IAM role. IAM role. So you need to attach IAM role to that service so that a service can a AWS service can access AWS S3. Any AWS service can access S3 by having a IAM role. For outside, for outside, we have Boto3 API for different programming languages, different programming languages. Using this Boto3 API, they can also connect to AWS S3. So integration with AWS services. Any AWS service can communicate with S3 for storing the data, retrieving the data, deleting the data, updating the data for any purpose. But only one thing, middle, you need a IAM role. Okay, clear, right? Why AWS S3? Yeah. Let's continue Amazon S3 team. In this, let's start understanding advantages of Amazon S3. So scalability, it will scale automatically. You no need to select a fixed size. I want 1 TB storage. I want 1 petabyte of storage. Like that, you cannot pay money to like other storages. You no need to select a fixed size. Based on your storage, you can pay. It will scale automatically and it will support unlimited storage. And it is 99.999% durable and highly available. Highly available and cost effective. Today, if you are storing 1 GB, you can pay. Let's say other storages, we first buy the storage. Let's say we purchased 1 TB, but until a month, we have only 1 GB data, 1 GB data, but we purchased 1 TB data. But here, S3 location, if you store 1 GB, you can pay for only 1 GB. Until 1 month, we are using only 1 GB. So until that entire month, you can pay only for 1 GB storage. And it supports different encryption algorithms to protect your data. And also, we use IAM, IAM service to provide security to access your data. And it is global access. Global access. So AWS S3 team, let's say this is S3, S3, and in this we have different regions, different regions. Let's say this is my Mumbai region, Mumbai region. In this Mumbai region, I am creating S3 bucket, S3 bucket. Let's say bucket name is B1, B1. So let's say they have assume 50 regions. In entire 50 regions, This bucket B1 is a common name. Let's say user1 is created this bucket 1. Let's say another region, let's say Canada region, and user 1000 wants to create a bucket. He is trying to create a bucket B1. It is not possible because it is global. Bucket names are global plus from anywhere in the world, you can access this S3 bucket. S3, S3 data, global access. And next one, you can use any AWS service. Any AWS service, you can access this S3. Middle, you need IAM role. So we create a IAM role. Let's say glue. We are writing job 1. We attach this role to job 1. Then this job 1 having a capability to access S3. For other programmatic approach, they given Boto3 API. Using this Boto3 API, they can communicate with S3. And next advantage is data versioning. You may heard this versioning concept in version control systems like GitHub. So there, whatever advantages we are getting in that version control systems, similar advantages we can get from S3. Let's say same location, same file name. If you are storing, there may be a chance of loss of data. New file overrides old data. If new file is a smaller size, old file is bigger size, we may lose. So to resolve such kind of issues, we can maintain different versions so that we can retrieve whatever the version we want. We can create a different life cycle management so that we can move your data between different storage classes for optimization purpose. Let's say, let's say our X client started 2020, 2013. Assume this year is 2020. Assume current year is 2020. So in this S3 location, S3 location, we created a bucket. In that bucket, we created year equal to 2020 folder. Then we stored 2020 entire related data and we selected standard class. Assume 2020 is completed. Now 2021. We created another folder 2021. Then we are storing current year data. Like this 21 is completed, 22 is 23, 24, now 25. So we are using only current year data. Previous years we are not using regularly. You can maintain life cycle based on that. You want only current year data in standard storage classes. Remaining years data, you want to move it to different storage classes for reducing the cost. So you can maintain life cycle management. It will automatically automate data movements between different storage classes to optimize your data. Next important advantage is cross-region supporting data replication. Data replication. Let's say You are in Mumbai region. In this location, you selected S3. You selected S3. You are storing data here. You want to protect, you want to replicate this data into another region, let's say Canada region. You can select, you can select cross region replication, CRR, cross region replication. Same data is going to replicate into another location, another location. Mine is banking company, mine is financial sector. I need more. I do not have a cost issue. I need my data available 24 by 7 up and run. I do not have a cost issue. Even though AWS saying 99%, 99.99% durable and highly available, but still my business is finance. Even fraction of seconds also problem in particular region, I may lose a lot of I may lose lot of money because mine is finance sector, mine is banking sector. I do not want to face such kind of issues. Then you can replicate your data into multiple regions. Amount is not issue. I need a data. Data should be available 24 by 7. Example, let's take Amazon e-commerce application. Let's say storage is not available in 1 minute. How much of data they may lose? How many orders they may lose? So they do not have a cost issue. They want data should be available at any cost. So they can maintain these kind of replications. So S3 provides cross-region replication. Same data you can replicate into different regions too. Okay. And it provides, it is a serverless architecture. You no need a infrastructure. Say, I want to these many missions to store. No, it is a serverless architecture. So no need of infrastructure manually set up or manually select. Backend, they may use different storage techniques to store the data. Mostly, we can also use this S3 for storage purpose also, backup and restore purpose. And on this data, we can apply different analytics using different technologies like Athena, Redshift, Glue, EMR. Performance wise, it is high speed data transfer with multi-part upload for large files. And let me add one point here is first important file system changed entire world architecture is HDFS file system. HDFS file system. HDFS file system stands for Hadoop, Hadoop Distributed File System. Hadoop Distributed File System. File System. Hadoop Distributed File System. This is most popular file system for supporting unlimited storages and supporting distributed. It will distribute data into multiple machines and it supports parallel processing. So first popular file system is this one. And almost all cloud file systems, AWS S3, AWS S3, Azure Blob, Azure Blob, Azure blob, storage, Google Cloud Storage, following similar style of storing data, similar style of storing data. So that's why nowadays people stopped storing data into HDFS. People are going for cloud storages. You no need to set up. If you want to do this one, you need to create a cluster. You need to create a fixed cluster. Let's say I want to 500 missions. I want to 1000 missions. Like that, you need to set up and you need to do lot of administration tasks. So here, coming to cloud file system, zero maintenance. It is serverless. Serverless. It replicates the data internally. It provides data parallel processing support. Similar kind, but a lot of advantages compared to HDFS file system. There you need to set up, configure, manage, admin, lot of activities you have to do. So all cloud file systems following similar style with serverless architecture. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Let's start it. In this session, we are going to discuss what are prerequisites for AWS S3. As part of Amazon S3, let's start understanding what are prerequisites for S3. First point. So AWS S3 is a storage service. AWS S3 is a storage service. S3 is what? Storage service. It is a storage service. Let's say user wants to access this S3. User wants to access S3. Then first user must be having a permission. User must be having a permission. Let's say here we have user. User must having a policy. Let's say S3 policy. User must having a policy. Then only user can access S3. Second one, root user. Root user can access any of this service. First point, root user can access any service in AWS cloud, but normal users are IAM users. So IAM users must having policy to access S3. Second one, other services like Glue, and Athena, etc., etc., Athena, etc. Okay, these are other services in AWS cloud. If these services wants to access this one, here we need to create a role. We need to create a role. Then we are going to attach that role to corresponding service. Then only a service can access S3. A service can access S3. Next one. If I am using application like Java application, Python application, etc., you need access key, you need access key, and you need secret key. So as a user, let's say I'm writing this application in user one. So as a user, you need to create keys. You need to add those access keys, secret keys in application. It means if you observe, I am playing important role in accessing S3. So first you need a account, you need account, and then basic knowledge of AWS plus very importantly IAM is required to IAM knowledge is required to interact with S3 if you want to put restrictions to access S3. Maybe user, maybe application, maybe other service. And additionally, AWS CLI is optional. AWS CLI is optional. Instead of using AWS Management Console web user interface, we can interact with S3 using AWS CLI. AWS CLI. Okay. Next one. Moto 3. I said this is if you are writing application, through application, if you want to connect, you need Moto 3 knowledge. So main required is AWS account, basic knowledge of AWS, then IAM knowledge. These three are minimum requirement to interact with AWS S3. Okay. Yeah. Now let's continue Amazon S3. In this, we are going to see creating bucket and creating folder inside a bucket and uploading file inside a bucket inside a folder, then deleting a file, deleting a folder, and deleting a bucket. These operations we are going to see. Yeah, first point, bucket. Bucket. Let's say this is my AWS cloud, and I logged in into AWS account. I selected region Mumbai. Mumbai region I selected. In this Mumbai region, I'm selecting service called S3. I'm selecting service called S3. S3 is a storage service. S3 is what? Storage service. It is a storage service. In this, I want to load the data. In storage service, I want to load the data. So to load the data into S3, we need to create a bucket. So first important point about S3 is we need to create a bucket. Let's say I am creating bucket 1. Let's say B1. This name is a unique name. This name is a unique name. This should not be exist in any of the region in AWS cloud. Let's say uh, 30 regions are there. 30 regions. Canada, USA, UK, etc. Total 30 regions are there. Assume in 30 regions, this bucket name should not be exist. So bucket name is a global name. It should not exist in any other regions. So bucket name, whatever the bucket name you are going to create, that is a global. So name is global. So that name should not be exist. Then only it will create. So once we create a bucket, inside a bucket, you can load the file, you can create folder. Okay. So in this, first let's start understanding bucket creation. Bucket creation. Okay. So go to AWS Cloud and go to AWS S3. And in this AWS S3, in this AWS S3, here you can see first we can see Amazon S3 like this. If you do not have any buckets, if you do not have any buckets, if you search S3 and if you click on S3, then it will open in this way. I already created some buckets. That's why it is opened buckets location. So here click on create a bucket. And here you can see bucket name. Bucket name must be 3 to 62 characters and it is unique and within the global namespace. I am creating bucket saying uh, S3 hyphen demo. Let's say Akkem hyphen Akkem Sreenivasa Akkem Sreenivasa hyphen S3 hyphen demo. Then here you want to give this bucket access throughout the public? If yes, uncheck this option. See, once we uncheck, here it is going to open a option called acknowledge. Uncheck this one. It is asking, I acknowledge current settings. Yes. Then here, all these are options are optional. Later, we are going to discuss about versioning. Later, we are going to discuss about encryption. Okay. At this point of time, you can leave default settings. Then click on create a bucket. So bucket is created. Bucket name is Akkem Sreenivasa -S3 demo. Clear writing how to create a bucket. Now for you, for me, for you, for me, for other persons, whoever working in AWS world, for all them, this name is unique. You cannot take same name, Akkem Sreenivasa -S3 demo in your account also. It should be unique name across AWS cloud. Yeah, yeah. You can click on this bucket. So every bucket having unique name. You can click on properties. You can see properties of AWS bucket. Okay. Here, this is Amazon resource name. This is unique name. This is unique name. Later, we are going to use this ARN for accessing the bucket. At this point of time, just concentrate on bucket. In this bucket, we do not have any folder and any file. Okay. So next one, in bucket, I want to organize data like this. All input files, all input files, I want to create a folder. Then I want to place all processed data. I want to create another folder. I want to store in that data. Okay. Let's say here we have a option saying create folder. You can create a folder like raw data. Create a folder and click on create another folder processed. Then I am creating folder. You can upload file directly into bucket. You can click on upload. You can click on add file. You can select a file from your system datasets, and here I have a S3 location. Here I am selecting EMP file. Then click on upload, or or you can go to particular folder. Then you can click on upload. You can add a file. You can select one or more files. Then click on open. At a time, you can upload multiple files also inside a bucket or inside a folder. Inside a bucket or inside a folder, we can upload one file or multiple files. Okay. Next one tip. Other approach. Let's say under process, I want to upload a file. We seen upload add file, or you can go to particular location. You can go to particular location. You can select a file. You can just drag and drop. You can just drag and drop. Then click on upload. You can click on upload, or you can just drag and drop. Next one tip. I want to upload a folder directly. Click on upload, then click on add folder, select a folder. It will select entire folder. You can upload entire folder. Entire folder. You can upload entire folder. You can drag folder. Let's say you can drag a folder. You can drop a folder also. Like file, you can drag folder. You can directly upload folder to bucket or another folder. Okay. So now I am showing how to delete a file. Select a file. Here you can click on delete, and you can type permanently delete. You can type permanently delete. Then click on delete object. Click on close. I want to delete a folder. Then select a folder, click on delete, then type permanently delete, then click on delete object. I want to delete a bucket. Go to buckets, select a bucket, then click on delete. When I try to delete, it will not delete because my bucket contain folders, my bucket contain files. Let's try to delete. Here it is giving error saying bucket is not empty. Okay, you can select a bucket. You can select a bucket. Go to bucket. You can select a bucket. You can click on empty. You can click on empty. Then type permanently delete. Then click on empty. It will delete all files, folders under bucket. Means it will clear everything. After that, you can select a bucket, then you can click on delete. Now it is not showing that error message. You can just copy your bucket name, then place this bucket name here, then click on delete bucket. In this way, we can delete bucket. Okay, let's set him. Let's set him. I created a bucket to saying AWS hyphen S3 hyphen demo. S3 hyphen demo. I created bucket for assume for my batch 100. Batch 100. Batch 100. I have created uh, folders in AWS hyphen S3 hyphen demo. So batch is completed. Then I am my free trial also completed. I created another account X. Then in this account, again I'm trying to use AWS hyphen S3 hyphen demo. Then it will not work because bucket name already existed. You will get error saying bucket name already existed. So bucket name should be unique. So that's why what I'm going to do once my practical training explanation is completed, I always remove bucket. Otherwise, I cannot reuse that bucket name. I cannot reuse that bucket name in another account. Clear, right? Why we are deleting bucket? If bucket is not required, then delete bucket. Later, we can reuse same name in another account also. Yeah, clear, right? Tim? How to create a bucket, how to create a folder, how to upload a file, how to upload a folder, how to delete a file, how to delete a folder, and how to delete a bucket. Yeah, let's continue Amazon S3 team. As part of Amazon S3, now let's continue AWS S3 storage classes. Very, very important in AWS S3 team, storage classes. When you are putting experience into AWS, maybe developer, maybe AWS admin, maybe AWS data engineer. If you are putting S3 as your experience, you will get one question on AWS S3 storage classes. So first question, do you have any idea about storage classes? And what is the storage default storage class? These are different storage classes. These are different storage classes. Okay. And in this default storage classes, AWS S3 standard storage class. When we go for the storage classes, your requirement is frequently writing the data, frequently reading the data from your Snowflake. Sorry, your S3. In your S3, you are writing the data, you are reading the data. It is highly recommended to use S3 standard storage class. Second point, you no need to specify explicitly S3 standard class. Whenever you are creating bucket, whenever you are uploading a file, or whenever you are uploading a folder, then default storage class is S3 standard. For this S3 standard, compared to other storage classes, compared to all other storage classes, cost is high, 99.999% available and durable. It never failed. It never failed. Yeah. Next point to take. My requirement is my requirement is I have data like 2020 data, and this is separate folder, and 21 data, this is separate folder, 22 data, separate folder, 23 data, separate folder, 24 data, separate folder, 25 data, separate folder, separate folder, and 26 is coming, 26 also I am creating separate folder 2026. So my current business required only current year data. Then these data we do not require every time. We may require when it require is when new festival is coming. I'm taking all 6 years data, I'm doing analysis. But everyday operations, end of the day, I'm doing operations, ETL operations, or weekly, I'm doing weekend, I'm doing weekly operations, monthly, I'm doing monthly operations, quarterly, I'm doing quarterly operations, half yearly, I'm doing half year operations, and year end, I'm doing year end operations. For that, I need only current year data. Previous year data is required, not every time. Some important occasions, I'm going to use that one. Otherwise, I do not want that data every time. Occasionally, I want to use the data. So for all these data, I do not want to use standard storage class because compared to other storages, it is high. Then to reduce cost, we have different other storage classes like S3 intelligent tiering, S3 standard IA infrequent access, S3 one zone infrequent access, S3 glacier, S3 glacier deep archive for reducing cost. See, intelligent tier is medium. Uh, Infrequent access is lower. One zone infrequent access is lower. S3 glacier is very low. S3 glacier with deep archive is cheapest. But data is available 99.99%. It may be any storage classes, data is available, but retrieval speed is differ. Compared to standard is read write is very faster, little slow, slow, very slow, slow, very slow, very slow. Like this, depends upon the storage classes. But price is low, very low. So most of the time, for regular uses, we go with S3 standard. For occasional uses, we go with S3 Glacier or S3 Glacier with deep archive. To reduce cost. Clear, right? What is the purpose of storage classes? Yeah, let's see it. Let's implement. Let's implement practically. Yes, correct. Yeah. So let's see. Uh, let's see. Uh, in this, let's see practically. First, create a S3 bucket. If not created, then upload sample file in S3 bucket. If not uploaded, then check whether it is assigned standard S3 standard class or not. Okay, go to S3, then create a bucket. I am creating bucket Akkem Sreenivas hyphen S3 hyphen demo. Okay, let's uncheck this option. Select I acknowledge, then create a bucket, then go to this bucket, then upload a file, go to datasets, go to S3, upload this file, EMP file, then click on upload. Click on upload. Then check whether storage class is assigned to this emp.csv or not. So go to storage class bucket. So first select here. See, select a file. Go to properties. Here you can see object, and first go to bucket, select a bucket, click on bucket. Here you can see properties. So in this properties you can see versioning, bucket ABC, then default encryption and intelligent trialing, and server access logging, event notification, event bridge, some other properties. Okay. So once you select adding upload files, here you can check uh, select a file, then select a storage class. You can select a file, go to object, here select a file. You can see here actions, you can see edit storage class, Here by default, what is the storage class for my file? My file is standard storage class. Then whatever storage class you want, you can select here. You can select storage class. Let's say I want to select Glacier Deep Archive. Then click on select class, save changes. That's it. Click on close. You can select a file. Let's say create one folder name raw. Then click on create a folder. Select a folder. Okay. Click on actions. You can see edit to storage class. Let's say 2020. I want to make it as deep archive. 2021. I want to make it as deep archive. 2022. I want to make it as deep archive. 2023, 2024, 2025. But 2026, I want to make it as standard. By default, if we create, it is standard. Clear, right, team? How to specify a storage class to particular folder or particular file? Yeah. Let's starting. As part of Amazon S3, let's start understanding. Next important concept is AWS S3 versioning. Let's understand the purpose of versioning, team. Let's say this is my AWS S3 service, AWS S3 service. In this AWS S3, we have bucket. In bucket, let's say we created folder. In folder, let's say we loaded a file, let's say sales file, sales.csv, sales.csv. Let's say today we loaded this file. Today we loaded this file, and tomorrow, let's say we are loading. uh, Tomorrow we are loading same file. Let's say today we have 10 records, and tomorrow, let's say we are loading same file again in same location. Let's say tomorrow, let's say 1000 records. Day after tomorrow, again we are loading same file, then 10,000 records. That's a 10,000 records. And some other guy also loading a file in this location. Let's say random guy loaded file into same location. Then that contain only one record. What happened? If you load new file in existed bucket, it will overwrite old file data with new file data. So finally, we are having a file with one record. Data analytics people using this file, they are generating reports based on this file. But new file contain only one record, they report giving wrong outputs. Management seeing wrong output because we have only one record. They are not getting latest output into their reports. They are complaining. Then uh, let's say we removed file from our local file system permanently. After uploading, after uploading into S3, we removed file permanently from our local system, our source location, because AWS S3 is 100% durable, reliable. Your data is 99.99% available. So you are trusting S3, then you removed your local file, but someone is loaded, uh, random guy loaded, you lose all the data. How we can resolve this issue? Instead of facing this kind of issues, if you manage versioning, if you manage versioning, you can enable versioning at the time of bucket creation or later also. After creation of bucket also, we can enable versioning. If we enable version, if you upload same file, then it says V1, V2, V3, and V4. V4. Then our client, our data analytics team raised a request. They want a previous version. Then we can go AWS S3 console. Then we can re we can find previous version. We can download and we can re-upload. Now you will get this data. We never lose. It is like version control systems. How GitHub maintains different versions, right? Similar way, in AWS S3 also having versioning. If you upload the same file in same location, same file in same location, it will create a different version. And always you get the latest version data. If you want the previous version, you can go to version location, then you can find previous version, whatever the version you want. Let's say customer wants the first version, then you can go to first version, you can download, you can re-upload. Whatever the version you want, you can select it, you can download it, you can re-upload it. That is the main advantage of AWS S3 versioning thing. Let's see practically. Let's see practically. I already opened this AWS S3 console. This is my bucket. Bucket. Let's say here, let me remove this bucket, empty bucket, empty bucket. Then select this bucket, delete the bucket, select the bucket and delete the bucket. Let's say I am creating a bucket. Here I am giving bucket name. Okay. Let's edit. Here let's scroll down. I am enabling public access. Then I'm selecting I acknowledge. Along with this one, see bucket versioning. Bucket versioning. Here by default it is disabled. You can select this one. Okay. Let's click on enable bucket versioning. Then click on create a bucket. Now let's go to our data location. Okay, go to datasets. Here go to S3. Let's say versioning. Versioning. Let's take a file. Let's take a file. In this file, I have 11 records, one header. Let's upload this file into S3 bucket. Let's upload this file. Let's upload this file name. Click on upload. Later, what I'm doing, I am removing some records. Then upload this file. Upload this file once again. Click on close. Now let's upload this file once again. Click on upload. Click on close. Then again increase, save, then add some more, save this one. Let's upload file into this location. Then click on upload. Click on upload. Once again, let's say let's reduce data, save this one. Let's upload. Let's say we uploaded same file but less records. Now finally, how many records file we have? Only one record file. Yes or no? Let's select this one. Let's click on download. Then open this file. Finally, we are seeing only one record. Yes or no? Only one record we are seeing. But my client is asking previous complete data file. Then how we can find versioning? How we can find versioning? So we created a bucket and we selected versioning. Then we uploaded file. Okay. We uploaded new versions files. Then view all versions. So first to select a bucket. Click on objects. Show versions. So these are first select a bucket. Click on objects. Then show versions. How to select a version? Let's go here. See, go to actions. See here, we see, yeah, click on this object. Let's see here. We can see properties here, bucket properties, storage class, and tags, metadata, metadata. Click on versions. See, complete versions. Select the version you want. Then click on download. Go to location. Click on this one. You got all records, right? Then re-upload it. Re-upload it. Re-upload this one into S3. Yes, correct. You don't need to do anything. Just enable version. That's it. Yeah. Let's continue Amazon S3 team. In this session, we are going to discuss encryption and security in AWS S3 with examples team. With examples. So first, let's open Amazon S3, and here this is our S3 bucket. S3 bucket. So here we loaded a file. We loaded a file. Now let's understand. Uh, now let's understand encryption and security in AWS S3 team. So first point team. This is my AWS cloud. AWS cloud. Okay. AWS cloud. In this AWS cloud, we are using storage service S3. We are using storage service called S3 for our storing history of data. For storing history of data. Okay. S3 and for storing history of data, storage layer. Here we create a bucket, and inside bucket we create folder. Inside folder we will write our data. Let's say files. We load our files. First, let's understand security. Let's understand security. If you want to access this data as a user, user 1 to user n. If you want to access this data, user 1 to user n, then first you need what? IAM policy. Yes or no? You need IAM policy. Without S3 policy assigned to you, without policy assigned to your user, you cannot access this S3. Second one, I am writing Glue application, Glue app. Okay, I am writing AWS Glue app. I am writing Athena queries. Athena queries to read this S3 data without role without role assigned to without role assigned to your Glue application and Athena, they cannot access S3 data. Yes or no? So first level security we are achieving using IAM. If it is a user, we will create a policy. We assign policy to user. If it is other services like Glue, Athena, we will create a role. We assign role to application or Athena service so that that services can access S3. Now encryption. Now let's understand encryption. Encryption. You are uploading a file. You are uploading a file. Uploading a file into S3. Let's say user one having IAM policy, then he is uploading file into S3 bucket. He is uploading file into S3 bucket. So here we have server side encryption. Server side encryption means S3 side we have encryptions. Server side encryption with S3 managed keys. Server side encryption with AWS key managed services or dual layer server side encryption with AWS key management services like this dual layer key service. So these are encryption algorithms available at S3 side. S3 side. You can choose any of these algorithms to provide encryption to your files. Second one, client side application. Client side application. Sorry, client side encryption. Let's say you are using Python, you are using Java, you are using Spark for uploading the data, uploading file into S3, uploading file into S3. Yes, here you can write client-side encryption algorithm to encrypt your data into S3 file system. Clear, right? If it is your application is writing or uploading file into S3 location, then you can write client-side encryption logic to encrypt data and write into S3 location. By default, AWS S3 having server-side encryption. We have different encryption algorithms. One default encryption key presented in S3. You can use server-side encryption with Amazon S3 managed keys. That is the default one. Second one, you can put a keys in AWS key management service. Then you can use that key to encrypt the data. Third one, dual layer server-side encryption with AWS key management service keys. These are three algorithms. By default is server-side encryption with Amazon S3 managed keys. Let's see it practically. Server-side encryption. So server-side encryption. Let me create a S3 bucket. Let me create a S3 bucket. So I am creating bucket. So I'm giving bucket name Akkem hyphen uh, uh, Sreenivasa hyphen AWS hyphen S3 hyphen demo 2. Okay, this is my bucket name. And see here, I'm making it as public. I'm selecting I acknowledge. Versioning we discussed already. See, by default, encryption algorithm is selected. You no need to do. You just create a bucket. Your data is encrypted based on Amazon S3 managed keys. This is the default. This is the default. So by default, uh, this algorithm is enabled. If you want other server side encryption, then there is a service called KMS, key managed service. You can put encrypted keys here, encrypted keys here. Then you can select this one. Then you can provide a path of this KMS location. Then based on that keys, your data going to encrypt. Okay. So by default, bucket is encrypted. Bucket data is encrypted based on server-side encryption with Amazon S3 managed keys. Click on create. That's it. Then if you upload the data into this bucket, then data is encrypted based on default AWS S3 server-side managed S3 keys. Clear, right? Additionally, if you want to client side, then whatever the technology application you are writing, there you can write client side encryption. By default, server side encryption is enabled for your bucket level. Yeah. Now let's see, as a part of Amazon S3, now let's see AWS S3 integration with the Python team. So here we are going to use Boto3 API for connecting S3 location. Let's say here what I'm doing, let me explain the uh, architecture for this example. Let's say this is my S3 under AWS. We have S3 service, okay. And here we are going to create a bucket. In this bucket, we are going to create a folder using my developer machine. Let's say here we are going to use our developer machine, let's say Windows. In this Windows, we are going to install Python. We are going to install Python and we are going to install Boto3, and we are going to install IDE like VS Code. Then we will write Python program. Let's say program 1.py. Then using Boto3, we are going to create a connection to S3. Then we are going to load our local file. local file, file 1, file, file 1, using our program 1 to in this location. Okay, clear, right? Let me explain step by step for implementing this one. First, you need a access key, secret key to achieve this one. So you need to create a user. If user is already existed, then create access key, secret key. Then get that access key, secret key, and then install VS Code, Python, Boto 3. In my mission, I already having Python. Let me open command prompt. Let me show Python space hyphen capital V. Next one. In my mission, I already have VS Code. Let me open VS Code. So this is my VS Code. Okay. I'm I'm going to open this workspace folder. So I'm going to open workspace folder. Let's say go to folder, go to folder, go to folder, go to folder, then let me, it is connected with SSH. Let's disconnect this one. Yeah, I disconnected remote connection. Then I am opening local my Windows folder. Let me open a folder, go to C drive, and here I have workspace folder. In this, I am creating Python for, I already having Python for AWS. Let's open this folder. Here, I am going to create a file saying AWS S3 integration.py. Okay. In this, I am writing this code. I am writing this code. I am writing this Python code. In this Python code, first Boto 3 should be installed. How we can install Boto 3 is open a new terminal. Then here use pip install Boto 3. Press enter. Then it is successfully installed. My machine already installed. That's why requirements satisfied. In your case, you may not having. Then if you click pip install, it will install Boto 3 into your machine. Second one, I need access key, secret key, region. So go to your cloud. Here, see Asia Pacific, Mumbai, AP-South-1. Place this region name. Place this region name AP-South-1. Mumbai region is AP-South-1. Then I need access key, secret key. Go to AWS, open IAM service. go to IAM service. Then here go to users. So this is my user already having. Click on this user. Then here I am going to create a access key. Click on access key. So remember, while creating access key, secret key, then provide where you are developing your integration application. Is it command line? No. Is it local code within the AWS? No. Uh, is it application going to run within AWS EC2 service? No. Is it a third party service? No. Is it developing, running outside of AWS cloud? Yes. Select this one. Then click on next. Give a description value. Just give any value. AWS S3 integration. Then click on create a key. So key is created. Copy access key. Enter this access key. Copy access key. Enter this access key. Then copy secret key. Then enter secret key. Okay. Then this is our S3 client. We are creating connection between our Python application to S3 using these steps. S3 equal to boto3 dot client function. Here we are passing S3 access key, secret key, region name. Then it will create a connection between your S3 with Python application. Once it is created, what I am doing? I am printing all bucket names. Bucket names. Then uh, provide bucket name where you want to create a file. Go to S3. Go to S3. Which bucket you want to provide? Let's say in this bucket. This is my bucket name. Bucket name should be exist before loading a file. So I am creating a bucket. In this bucket, I want to load my local file. My local file. Let's say my local file name is let's say here under C drive, under datasets, I have S3. Let's say here I have emp.txt. Let's say I am passing this path. I am passing this path. Under this location, we have emp.txt. So you can use two backward slashes or one forward slash. This forward slash approach is Linux style of path. Then we are writing using put. We are writing using put and we are writing into location. See here, first we are specifying bucket name, our file location name. Then we are just printing bucket name. Then finally S3 dot get object, bucket name and object name. So this is for reading bucket data, because here we are reading object, not putting object. So this code is going to read the object. Let's say here, go to buckets, and in this bucket we have emp csv, right? Let's take this bucket name, demo. Let's say this is our bucket name. Let's change here logic of bucket name and object key is emp.csv. So we are reading this data from our Python. Let me go to here. Let's run this program, Python space AWS integration.py. See, it is listing all bucket names and we specified file name. It is reading that file. Okay. So clear item, how to integrate Python with S3 from VS Code from your developer machine. Let's say Windows.